That's a very long and tenuous conversation. I think, like true to any negotiation which involves many parties, there are different perspectives and different ideologies with which one moves into the details. At the broad level, there is a consensus right from Paris, previous COPs, that there has to be a better approach to climate finance. This is a finance-specific COP. The negotiations are still on, so it's probably a bit premature and early to say. But my expectations are that we will come out with something substantial and concrete, which does justice to the global south, countries which are subjected to the adverse impacts of climate action, particularly countries like Nepal, but also Bangladesh, India, and in Asia, also Philippines, Indonesia, and all of Asia, which are in the red zone. But I think the details are the details are still to be worked out. The institute will essentially provide the specific details of what is the quantum that one is talking about. How do you identify the quantum? So from a very broad philosophical perspective and a very ethical, moral perspective, the NCQG will identify very specifics about the quantum, the mechanisms. There is a huge amount of question that how this money has to flow, what institutional mechanisms will take place, do you set up institutions, how do you access those funds, and which is very important for countries, especially like Nepal, for instance, where accessing capital has historically been very difficult. And as a practical action, we work very closely with the communities. So for us, it's very important that it reaches the last mile, or who are actually the first mile insofar as the problems of climate action or inaction is concerned. And finance is one of the mechanisms of remediation, reparation even, to ensure that the finance eventually flows to the communities. So NCQG is essentially going to give us the specifics of the details about how the money has to flow. It is a complex conversation, but again, it requires a lot of global partnerships, alliances, diplomacy, and eventually, hopefully, at the end of the week, we will find some substantial progress.